Hi, this is Matt from the School of Fiction channel, hanging out in the car again before work. Internal conflict. Does this require a wound, a misbelief, fear, and behavior, as KM Weiland said? I'm going to say no, it doesn't. Internal conflict, defined the old school way that I'm familiar with, means that the character is having struggle within the self to make a decision, or to overcome a personal problem, to deal with an emotion, something like that. And this does not require trauma. So KM and some people who came before her, like John Truby, laid out this idea that every character needs to have a trauma, some kind of foundational injury that has caused the person to misunderstand the world. Dad left me, so therefore you can't trust dads, right? And then they will display behaviors that outwardly project this thing, like getting mad at all the men that they meet, in the case of this one, and that they have to confront their fear of future abandonment. And so the whole purpose of the book then for that character's development is to show that, yes, you can sometimes trust dads and the whole thing was wrong. Okay. Is this a workable story? Of course it is. This is definitely a story that could be told. It's not a bad story if you write it properly. But the idea that every character is founded upon trauma is very, very narrow, very basic, very formulaic, and I'm really sorry to see it constantly out there in memes. Look, all characters are not wounded and scarred by trauma. This is a characteristic maybe of writers of a certain generation to feel they have to do it this way. It's not true. Characters can be strong and competent, and then the interest is in seeing how they deal with things. Now, I'm not saying I haven't inflicted traumas upon my characters, because I absolutely have. There's no question about it. I was making a list of all the ones I inflicted upon poor Simon in the School of the Ages series, and boy, there were a lot of them. That being said, those happened on camera, basically. The idea that everyone has some kind of a generational wound, that every character has to be a damaged person, I'm sorry, that's way too narrow. So if you like it, of course do it. I'm not telling you that you can't do it or that it doesn't work. You can do it. It does work. I'm saying you don't have to. That fiction doesn't have such a narrow delimiter upon it. So with all respect to those who originated this idea, it's a formula you can choose, not a rule that you're bound by. This has been Matt for the School of Fiction channel, coming out in July. Mrs. Moore, #1, Queen of Doubts. See you then.